Hi, I'm Nubia Brown, and this is Redefined. Today we're going to be talking about social media and the influences that it can have on us. And I'm going to be sitting down with my friend August, and I'm going to be giving her a makeover as we talk about this and have that conversation. So let's get to it. Hey everyone, today I'm here with August and we're going to be talking story and I'm going to be doing her makeup. So I'm going to go ahead and start with your foundation. Since we're talking about foundation, what kind of foundation did you have? What kind of upbringing did you have growing up as far as faith goes?
Well, my mom always involved me with the church, so I was always involved ever since I was young, which is good. I mean, I know some kids and, at some part of your life and some age you get to a point where you're like, oh, I just want to do my own thing. But, I mean, even if you do that, having that foundation, like you said, that you have is really, it's important because you always have that one thing that you grew up on to know that you can always, it's just
it's like instilled in you.
Yeah, and it's like you always go back to that. I mean, at least I do.
I grew up in a Catholic home, but I never really paid attention. I never had a real relationship with God. It was more just, go to church and then still do my own thing.
Yeah.
But I still feel like there was seeds planted in my heart. And eventually, after I graduated high school, I came back to those roots.
Yeah.
What kind of, season are you in, with God?
Oh, man. I feel like it's a trusting season for sure. It's been a testing year, been an emotional year. It's just been a lot.
Right.
So I have to keep reminding myself every day to, just trust in him. It's all gonna work out. It's all gonna be okay,
Yeah. Especially, with everything with COVID. I'm just freaking out and I'm just thinking the worst things in my head and I'm spending a lot of time at home now and it's causing me to overthink.
Yes.
And then my mind goes to
really
so
bad
many
places.
Very bad places.
Yeah.
And
story of my life.
Yeah.
It affects who you are.
Where do you stand with who you are? Have you struggled with that?
It flip-flops for me every single day. So some days it's good, some days it's it's harder, but you just have to remember what the Lord says, and after that it seems to get a little bit better. But I mean, it's hard, especially for girls. It's very hard.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Always comparing ourselves.
Yeah.
Close your eyes. What do you think has affected you the most as far as not feeling like you're enough or whatever makes you feel insecure about yourself?
I would say my body along with everybody else. I mean, because you can still be so gorgeous and other people think you're beautiful, but if you don't know that for yourself or you can't see it, then it's it doesn't matter. But you can't find that worth from other people or from this world. You have to find it from God because he's the only one that stays and stands.
Would you say social media has played a role in...
You don't even have to finish that question.
Right?
1,000%
Yeah.
It does. It's a problem. And it's hard because these apps are made basically to
be addictive. Yeah.
And you try your hardest. I try my hardest not to go on Facebook and stuff like that. And I really, really don't like to go on Instagram because that's when I find myself getting just
all
down.
The time, all the time. So used to seeing everybody and what they're doing.
Yeah.
And
so it's impossible not to compare yourself with those people.
Exactly. And not only that, but everyone, we all post like the best parts of our life, which is so far from what's actually real.
Not to mention just all the effects and just how fake that stuff really is.
Exactly. Even myself, like I've posted stuff like with my husband and I and our son, and like if I was having a crummy day, no one would even really know, because I don't share it.
Yeah.
And then people just think, oh, you have a perfect family and you're always happy and you live in Hawaii. And I love one of the quotes from C.S. Lewis. He says, never let your happiness depend on something that you may lose. And I'm like, wow, like that is so true. Because if your happiness and your joy and your worth and your identity depends on something that's fickle, something that changes, something that can come one day and go the next, especially like, followers, subscribers, or just people's love, it's something that's so fickle because, people can change their opinions about you, especially online, or they could be really mean or whatever. And it's like, if you let something that you could lose, define you, you'll always be chasing something to feel like a somebody, to feel loved.
Even just last summer, I was trying to get myself to be so like, snatch, as they might say. Like just looking good. But it's like, if that stuff just isn't working and you can't do what everybody else is doing, and like, you think that it might make you happy, but at the end of the day, when you are in that place where you quote unquote want to be, it's like, and you're still not happy, then what's next?
Right. Yeah. There's always more. Well, you can always lose 5 more pounds, and then there's always more that you can achieve. There's always more money to attain. And I was like, well, when will it ever be enough? And I feel like God allowed me to do that so that I could finally stop. I could stop that rat race of trying to earn my worth and trying to earn the feeling that I am worthy based off of my achievements. And sometimes it was like, the more tired you are, like, that's good, you're working hard. And I needed to do that so that I can see the dead-end road that comes from trying to earn my worth.
That type of stuff is just like, it is, I mean, I want to say it's literally almost the devil,
right?
Like, because it can just take you to different places that you didn't even know were possible. And it's like, okay. Any knowledge of any worth is just not there, and as much as you try to help it, it's like, it's hard to find. In those moments, you just like, I mean, I'm a crier. I'm a big crier. And I mean, I've had to wonder, and I've asked God a couple times, even very recently, I've been like, why am I just always melting down? Like, why am I always breaking down and crying? Like, is it a gift? I don't know, because as much as I do it, like, I would love to know if it's for something good, you know what I mean? You just have to stop, and you have to just, as Elsa says, let it go. And you have to let it go, and you just have to let God take over. And whatever that might be is just, taking some deep breaths and not doing anything if you're stressed out, or if you're on social media and you're just like overwhelming yourself. It's like, you just, I mean, you can delete those apps, like you can get those things literally as far away from yourself as possible.
I, didn't really have God like at the top. And I feel like that's also why, it's like, am I scrolling more on social media than I am reading my word? And if so,
something
I think
needs to change.
Exactly.
About that.
Something needs to change.
That stuff affects you too. And like, it really is amazing what just reading a little bit of the word every day really does. I mean, I read the Jesus Calling. I can either I look it up on Google most of the time if I don't have the book with me. And I tell you what, that book is alive, because every day it results, like, it relates right to you, and it helps. So, I mean, strongly recommend. But, it's really crazy what that stuff can, just having a comparison of what worldly and then what godly stuff really has an effect on you.
Yeah.
It's like at 1 minute you're alive and 1 minute you're dead.
Yes.
You know?
Oh my gosh.
That's what it feels like.
I feel like you have to like set up boundaries.
Yes,
like
boundaries.
And I never thought about it that way, but really the people that you follow on social media are influencing your life.
Yeah.
And you have to be careful like who you're following on social media too.
Be careful, little eyes, what you see.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm gonna blink.
Oh, go ahead.
I could feel it coming. I just didn't want to snatch it away from you.
you're
Ooh,
fine.
okay, there you go.
Okay, well,
I'm ready.
we're good on that one. I'll do this one. Look down. Yeah. So just in case anyone wants to know, I was using the Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadow palette. I really, really love it. It's so good and really pigmented, and I feel like the colors that she has in it are perfect for
Like fair
everybody.
tone? Yeah.
Yeah, just because it's like those like pretty neutral colors. You good?
Yeah. Just open for a while.
How's that feel?
I mean, good.
Yeah. So this eyeliner is from Rare Beauty, Selena Gomez's new brand, and I really love it. I love her message behind it because she talks about being rare and not having to feel the need to look like somebody
Everybody
else.
else, yeah,
You know, like
that's
be
awesome.
you, be rare.
Yeah.
And even her, like, she's talked about how she's struggled with comparing on social media, and I'm like, you would think that a celebrity, you know, like she's gorgeous, she's beautiful, and she's so successful, and you would think that they, you know, wouldn't really struggle with stuff like that we go through.
Just proves to show you.
It doesn't matter, like it comes to everybody.
Yeah.
Wow, I have like so much powder on my I think it's awesome that somebody with so much influence is, you know, bringing that conversation.
Especially to young people. She's so influential to young people.
Yeah,
You
for
can
sure.
see my ventriloquist skills on
I remember like when I had just gone into social media and I was like being influenced by other people, and like, you know, traveling is like a big thing right now, and I remember like, you know, posting something like on my bio like that I was like an adventure, like into adventure, and then I thought about it and I'm like, I'm really not. I'm really not.
Oh my
like if I'm
gosh.
being honest with
Yeah.
myself, like I'm pretty introverted, so I
Yeah.
like being home.
I was gonna say I like to watch movies.
I love watching
Yeah.
movies, and I'm pretty introverted.
Yeah.
And do I mind traveling? Nope. But am I like an adventurous?
Yeah,
Like,
enough to put it down on my
No.
bio. I don't
exactly.
think so. Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm really not.
Yeah.
And I had to like really think about it. I'm like, wow, like I was just kind of going with the flow of what I was seeing, and it caused me to. I feel like that's why I was so confused with myself.
You
Like,
just lose yourself.
yes,
Yeah.
because you're like trying to be other people
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you think it looks cool, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I really thought about it. I'm like,
Other
I'm really
people
not.
doesn't look good on you.
Exactly.
You looks good on you.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
I love that. And I had to have like that conversation with myself, like, who am I? What do
Yeah.
I like? Who
Yeah.
am I really? Like, not based off of other people. And I feel like sometimes it's helpful to do that, just so you're not so influenced by what other people are
Yeah.
doing that it affects your decisions
Yeah.
in your life.
Yeah.
You know? I feel like maybe that's why we're so confused
Yeah.
with what we want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I always like recommend to people like get off of social media
Yeah.
and then really think about it.
Yeah.
You know, think about what you want to do with your life. I feel like by being who God has made you to be and living out the purpose that he has for you,
Mm-hmm.
it does bring you happiness.
Satisfaction,
And it, like,
yeah.
for me, it's brought me happiness and it's brought me satisfaction. Because even when I was doing what I thought would make me happy, it didn't.
Yeah.
Because I thought I knew better. But it's like, I feel like we see life like just from here to here. And
Yeah.
that's all we see.
Yeah.
And God sees it from like here, and he's like has a different
Yeah.
view than we do. He sees it all. In the sense of, you know, with worth and identity, like what is something that really has maybe helped?
Personally, I am still in that rut, but what does help me is just taking some quiet time, you know, and like spending time with God is extremely important. And like to me, like music is really big, and like worship music is so like
I
it just
love
it's
worship
really
music.
it just does something to your everyday life, you know. To me, it does,
Yeah.
and it really helps just like encourage and motivate and just kind of get you out of that slump, even just for a little bit, you
Yeah.
know, and know that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and you are important, even if
Yes.
it's just to a couple people. You are,
Yes,
you know,
you are.
and you're on the world and you're on the planet for a reason, you
Yes.
know, and you might not know what that
Exactly.
is now, but you will, and whenever
Mm-hmm.
you do, then you'll know the reason why you went through everything that you did. Just keep the faith.
Yes. I think that's
Don't stop
awesome.
believing.
That's awesome. You just like whatever you feed, whether you feed your spirit or whether you feed your flesh, that's what's going to come out of you. And
You
so,
reap what you sow.
Exactly,
So try
so-
to sow good things.
yes, into like with music, with what you're watching, with who you're following. And yeah, like I feel like one of the things that I learned with struggling so much with my identity is I learned what God had to say about me.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing with him is that it had nothing to do with me. I didn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
I didn't have to earn anything. I didn't have to be successful.
Yeah.
I didn't have to turn that way. I didn't have to earn a specific amount of money
Yeah.
or nothing. It had nothing to do with me, whether I felt good about my life or bad about my life. Like
yeah.
it has nothing to do with me. It had to do,
Exactly.
you know, with Jesus and
Yeah.
what he has to say about me. And I think that's the most beautiful thing is like
Yeah.
I can mess up. I can feel like a failure. But the truth is that when, you know, we believe in the name of Jesus, like we're robed with his righteousness. We become, you know, healed. We become set free. We are loved. We are
Yeah.
significant. We matter. We have a
Yeah.
purpose.
Exactly.
And that's who we are. Well, I think that's pretty much it. We are
Thank you.
done. Let me just like give you a little
Spritz and
spritz. That's finishing time. All right, so tell me what you think.
Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Thank you so
You're
much. It's
welcome.
awesome.
I'm glad you like it. Sometimes you feel like you're the only one that might be going through these things, but to hear somebody else talk about, you know, things that they've gone through, just even for somebody else to say, me too, you feel less alone. It's so easy to allow all these images on social media, all the photos that we're exposed to, the models, the influencers. What are you allowing to define you? Is it success? Is it followers? Is it likes? Is it your image? Pull away from all of that and think about what God has to say about who you are. The way that he views us doesn't change. And when our identity is found in him, it never changes from one day to the next. Thank you guys so much for joining us today, and we'll see you next time on Redefined.